JB, good to see you. We are getting back to basics today with RMD 101, the rules that catch retirees off guard. Required minimum distributions aren't just about taking money out, they come with specific IRS rules that affect how, when, and where those dollars can be used. Understanding these basics can help you avoid penalties, manage taxes, and even support your favorite charity. So, number one, each account is separate. The IRS requires you to calculate the RMD from each of your pre-tax retirement accounts individually. How does this rule catch people off guard?
Good to see you as always, Erin. With the RMDs, a lot of times folks think, well, as long as I take enough out, I'm okay. It doesn't matter if I have an IRA or a 401k or a
Hmm.
403b, but you have to make sure not only do you calculate the amount that you have to take for RMDs from each individual account, but you have to make sure that those withdrawals come from that exact type of account. What does that mean? Well, if I have 5 IRAs and I have to take $2,000 out of each one of them, the IRS doesn't care which IRA you take it from, as long as you take a total of the $10,000,
Right.
5 times 2. Now, if you also have, if some of those accounts are 401ks, you have to make sure the 401k has its own withdrawal taken from it.
Right.
So you have to just make sure you calculate this the right way. And some people say, well, why would I even think about not taking it from all my accounts? Well, if we have a downturn in the market and 2 of your accounts are linked to the market, take it out of the accounts that aren't affected by that. If you
Right.
have a banner year in the market, you may say, hey, I want to take more money out of that. Just gives you more flexibility.
Right. Number two, you cannot use your RMDs to directly contribute to a Roth IRA. Why is that?
As much as folks want to do that and put as much as they can in the Roth IRA, with the Roth, you have to make sure that you're funding it. The new contributions are with earned income. So if you don't have any earned income, you can't add money to your Roth IRA unless it's via a conversion. So when you take that RMD out, you have to pay the taxes out and you can't add it as new contributions to the Roth.
Mhm. On the other hand, using an RMD for other expenses is okay. Once the RMD is taken, the cash is yours to use however you wish. Does that include reinvesting in a taxable account?
Absolutely, Erin. We see a lot of folks who will say, all right, I have to take out my money. Let's say it's the example we used earlier. I have to take out $10,000. I don't need it. I don't need to spend it. Can I put it right back into that same account? Can't put it back into the same pre-tax account.
Mhm.
We have a number of folks who will take that money, they'll put it back in the same style of investments into a
Mhm.
non-qualified account
Right.
or a joint account or a spouse's account.
Mhm. And number four, you can use these RMDs for charitable donations. This one is my favorite, JB. Can you explain how it works, please?
Yes, you beat me to the punch. It's one of my
Mhm.
favorites as well,
Right.
Erin. The great thing about this, when you look at, there's a lot of us who are charitably inclined. If you have a qualified nonprofit entity and you have a qualified place where the money is held, you can do something called a qualified charitable distribution. And what's that mean? It means the money goes directly from wherever you have the money currently and it goes directly to the charity. So instead of you having to receive the funds and deposit them and then write a check or do a bank transfer to that charity, it goes directly from where your money is currently housed. And people say, well, is that going to change anything tax wise? Not for income tax, but it could potentially help you when it comes to other types of taxes. Since you're not receiving the funds, it may help you save on things like IRMA taxes, which might impact your Medicare. And plus, it's much easier just to direct a withdrawal straight from the charity or straight to the charity from where you have your money.
Mhm. Yeah, the way I explain it is if you're putting money in the collection plate, there's probably a more tax efficient way to do it. So well said, JB. And
Yes,
then last, this one is probably understood, but it bears repeating because it's important. Those RMDs are taxable.
they sure are. The older that we get, once we start drawing those required minimum distributions, you have to take a larger and larger percentage out of those accounts. And they've changed the rules several times since the Secure Act 2.0. So just remember, if you were born before July 1st, 1949, you're still under the original rules of, for modern day, of 70 and a half is when you have to start taking those RMDs. If you're born between July 1st, 1949, 1950, age 72 is your RMD age. 1951 to 59, it's 73 is when you have to start taking those IRA or pre-tax withdrawals. 1960 or later, 75 is the RMD age. If you don't take your RMDs, you are charged penalties. They vary. One of the new things that I like with the law is if you fix any mistakes, then they do reduce the penalty. So as an example, if you don't take your RMD last year, it's a 25% penalty, 25. But if you fix it, they reduce it down to a 10% penalty. Still better if there's no penalty, but it's much better than the original, the previous rules where it was a 50% penalty.
Mm-hmm. And again, JB, though, why does it matter that these are taxable? How does this catch people off guard in retirement?
A lot of times we think, okay, I'm retired, I have the income I need, or if I need extra income, I'll just take it out of savings or non-qualified investments. But when you look at the RMDs, those early years, it can vary about 0.1% here or there, but it's about 4% is how much you have to take out of those accounts. And sometimes folks can say, well, I'm okay with that. I can handle taking 4% out of my account. But as you get older and older, by the time you're in your 80s, you're having to take out over 5%. If you reach your 90s, it can be about 8%. And really where I see a lot of folks have challenges is when one spouse passes away, our tax code does not benefit single tax filers. You still may have 2 IRAs or two pre-tax retirement accounts, but where it catches folks off guard is they don't plan on going into those higher tax brackets when one spouse passes away, and they don't plan on those increased withdrawals. So it's super important if you're able to do a plan where you can do Roth conversions so you can reduce those required minimum distributions. It leaves more control in your shoes. With those Roth conversions, you pay the taxes up front. And once the money seasons for 5 years or more, you enjoy that tax-free money forever. Or you can decide, do I want to use this to supplement income? I was just talking with someone yesterday. If they don't use their Roth during their lifetime, they're going to pass the money on to their kids and tell their kids, hey, when you have to take money out and pay taxes, use this tax-free bucket of money to pay your taxes.
Yeah, those Roth accounts are so powerful. Well, JB, what I hear you saying is that proactive planning is key when it comes to reducing your tax liability with these required minimum distributions. So if somebody would like your help with that, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to reach us is give us a call, 803-939-4848, or visit us online, send us a message at BeckettFinancialGroup.com.
Great. JB, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Erin. Have a great day.